Howdy class, this is William Wright representing the religious branch of our court cases. I think I'll jump right into it and say this is Mozert v. Hawkins Board of Education from 1985. I was very happy to get to work on the religious cases in terms of education because I consider myself a man of faith. I have very strong convictions based on my beliefs, and knowing this stuff better will help me be a better educator and make sure I know where my boundaries are so that I don't do something improper. Getting right into it, here's the premise of the case. In 1983, there were a group of fundamentalist Christian parents in the Hawkins School District of Tennessee, and they had a problem with the curriculum that the Hawkins Board of Education decided on. They claimed, and broadly speaking, this is what they claimed, that the readings encouraged witchcraft, idolatry, evolution, and exclusion of Christ. Now, some of these make sense. Evolution, that's a science textbook. I'm not sure about the idolatry. I couldn't quite figure that one out. But the witchcraft, I think, had to do with some Shakespeare readings from Midsummer's Night Dream. So, yeah. Anyway, they believed that it was offensive to their faith and it discouraged the Christian beliefs of their children. So they believed it was a violation of the First Amendment. So they requested alternate text, and the request was denied. Now, it's very important to say that they didn't request that these texts were removed. They requested that they would be given new text to be taught separately, so that they would get the same general information, but with a more, I suppose, Christian-affirming parameters. Now, when this was denied, a couple of their students actually ended up refusing to read it, so 3 students who were in this entire group were suspended. And when that happened, some of them were sent to private Christian schools, and some of them just ended up going to different public schools. They decided to take this case to the district court, claiming a violation of the First Amendment. Their big claim was that these readings were, again, as I said, they were not affirming to their beliefs, they were offensive, and they were encouraging atheism, discouraging Christianity. Their big demands were fiscal compensation for the kids who had to be sent to private school, so that was an expense due to this, and also the provision of alternate texts in public schools. They wanted to make sure this didn't happen to other kids in the future. So the court decided, and this is very crucial, this first bit, yes, they acted on genuine religious conviction. This wasn't just something to fire up a bunch of news or to, start a fuss. They had genuine beliefs that they were standing by based on genuine tradition of their denomination. But most importantly, the text did not discourage any faith. Really, they were neutral. They were not proponents of any particular faith, neither were they trying to put down any particular faith or discourage it. So therefore, they had no case dismissed. They decided to appeal to the Sixth Circuit Court, and the appellate court upheld the decision. There was no First Amendment violation. One court case they marked on was a case from, I believe it was the earlier 80s, and it was a man named Thomas who was a Jehovah's Witness working in a metal manufacturing business. He was moved over to a part that made firearms, and due to religious convictions, he didn't want to be involved in the making of weapons, so he resigned. Because of this, he was denied unemployment benefits. Now, this serves as a great comparison because he is being specifically denied something because he acted upon his religious convictions. The difference here is that they're not being denied anything because of what they believe. Neither are they being forced to claim something that they don't believe. Really, they can know all this stuff and hear it, but they don't have to believe it. And this actually relates closely to my life because growing up in a creationist household, eventually we get into the evolution section, and, what do I have to do when I start learning about something I don't quite believe in? Really, what Pop always told us was just get the grade. That's all he said, just get the grade. So, in the same way, these students are encouraged to just get the grade. You hear it, you don't have to believe it, so take it in. Now, as a educator and how this applies to me, it's obviously very important because I know the kids are going to come from vastly different backgrounds. There are going to be things that they don't quite agree with that I teach. I simply need to be able to encourage them to form their own opinion on it. One thing that I really want to do is encourage sorts of, friendly discourse, of course, between students, allow chances for debate on these topics, and give kids a chance to form their own beliefs on these things. And that sort of thing in a class is invaluable, as it either strengthens your beliefs, gives you a stronger footing to understand yourself, or it gives you a new perspective on an issue, giving you a chance to see things a different way, which is a wonderful part of growing up. Another thing it kind of informs me on is the fact that I will have, reversing this around, I will have beliefs that clash with what I'm being told to teach. Because of that, again, it's a matter of I just kind of have to teach it in a way that does not contrast my own beliefs, but simply says, this is what I'm teaching you. I would ask you to learn it with an open mind and a respectful heart. And I know I have a lot of beliefs that sort of go against the flow as far as the current academic culture. They will probably contradict what a lot of kids will grow up in this modern society. So I know that I have to be very careful about the way I use my words and understand that I have to not necessarily be a discourager of my faith, but I cannot openly be a proponent of it in class. Anyway, that's just about all I have. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a good time with your presentations. Shalom.